Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I said in a video the other day where I said that we only grow from discomfort. And I feel like it's something that I say a lot. And I feel like it's something I say a lot to my friends and to the clients that I work with and colleagues, and something that I say a lot to myself as well, because I think it's really, really true. But like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Okay. So if you think about like the evolution of various different species, usually there's some kind of like external threat that causes a species to evolve from one thing to another. So fish came out the sea. I don't actually know why, because that sort of stuff doesn't really interest me, but it was either because there was some kind of predator or there wasn't enough food source. This is really what I think it comes down to, those two basic things. So it's like, in order for evolution to be sparked, there has to be usually an external catalyst. Now, this is an issue for humankind because, like it or not, we seem to be at the top of the food chain, even though I feel like we act more like a parasite, the top of the food chain, but whatever. So at the moment, there isn't really a massive external threat that's going to come and force us to have to evolve. And I think that, we as individuals have a choice in life, in our own personal evolution here. But those who want to evolve, those who feel like, I want more, I want to do more, unfortunately, there isn't really that external threat that is causing us to have to make a decision to evolve. And I think the other thing that's really important to understand is that, unlike kind of the laws of nature that there are around other species evolving, or even if you think about, how diamonds are made, that there's a very clear equation. If you put enough pressure, a diamond will be created. I think the thing is with human beings, because there's so many different variables, both internally and externally. So like within yourself and your psyche and your body, your history, and then also within your environment, your community, your society, the world, all of those things, they're all in interplay. There's no clear formula that doing something is going to help you, that it's going to make you into that more evolved human being. At times it can break you, And I think, there's a lot of merit to be broken as well, because being broken, anyway, there's a lot of merit to being broken, because that in itself is evolution, because there's always lessons to be learned, even from what we would consider to be a negative situation. But because of this, like, the fact that there's no guarantee that we're going to turn into diamond if we make a choice to change. There can often be like this really big fear of the unknown. So it's like standing on the precipice and making a decision to jump. And you think you're either going to fly, you're going to fall, you're going to hit a rock and die, you're going to get picked up by an eagle and taken off somewhere. God will catch you in his hands. Like, who knows what's going to happen, right? So it's kind of like this fear of the unknown and standing on this precipice that stops us from making that decision to move forward. And it gives us this like false sense of security in the fact that what is known feels safer. It feels more safe, because what is unknown is not safe. Like, how can you know if it's safe or not, right? But the fact is that what we know and what we're already doing, what we're already experiencing, isn't necessarily safe. It's just familiar. So it feels safer and it feels more comfortable just because it's familiar and it's something that we already know. Even if it's really shitty, at least we know what we're getting. So we would rather stay in that situation than potentially try something new and that potentially be worse. And the thing is that human beings are really, really smart. So we've learned to be able to kind of adapt to our environment. We don't have to change in order to manage external threats. We can ignore them, we can avoid them, we can dismiss them. And we do it very well oftentimes. And I think the biggest thing that we do really as human beings is we distort the truth. But does it really help our evolution to behave like this? You know? Oftentimes or I've found anyway, that I've had to choose to move into a place of discomfort for my own good so that I can challenge and resolve and then evolve from whatever it is. Whenever I make a decision to challenge something, I always get this image of having like a hand that's like gone gangrenous and me actually having to take a saw with my other hand and saw off my own appendage. And that is the only thing that I can liken it to in terms of an experience. It's like to have the strength and the courage to saw off your own hand because you know it is good for you, because you know it's going to save you in the long run, is like that kind of constant internal battle that's raging when we feel discontent in the situation that we're in, but too petrified to move into a situation that we don't know. And because there's nothing forcing us to do it from outside, we have to make that decision. And it always feels like I'm about to saw my fucking hand off. And it's the worst. It's the worst. But I would say, I always question, would I rather be comfortable, which is just usually me like distorting the truth of my own unhappiness, or as I say, discontent, or my own like malady, you know? Or do I want to move myself into a place of discomfort so that I can find something that is more true? So I can be a truer me. And with that, be more free. Yeah, that's all. That's all.